Yes, tons of ghosts. There's a
I
man
think that
who
movie could hold up. No, I think the movie's it's a very timeless kind of feel good movie.
Yeah, it's very, blue collar, working in the field type of movie.
It's a Wonderful Life kind of vibe. It has a kind of mystical.
Once they get to like hovering tractors and stuff like that, maybe it won't. But a tractor is a tractor, a combine is a combine, right? Kind of.
Well, that's
kind of feel.
I'm talking the themes of the movie, not the aesthetic of the movie. I think there's definitely things that kind of Groundhog Day. I'm sure holds up. Same idea, right? Like
it's a 90s movie though.
Yeah.
I apologize.
This is Spinal Tap.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that holds up.
Yeah.
Again, it's good satire.
Big Trouble in Little China. I watched it last year, and it holds up because there's nothing. It deals with old mysticism, but there's really nothing in the movie that's newer. You know what I mean? Like, it's still a big rig. A big rig is still a big rig. They still kind of look the same. Gun kind of looks like a gun. It's still the same.
But that's not what we were talking about when you say hold up, though, Keith.
No, that's a piece of it. It's one thing that won't pull you out of the movie.
Oh, okay.
It's funny. It's actually one of my wife's favorite films, and I've never seen it.
I love the film. It's good, and you should watch it.
I probably
that one. You watch Big Trouble in Little China, and right after that, you watch The Golden Child.
And right after that, Howard the Duck.
And then Howard the Duck.
And Mac and Me.
Cleanse your palate.
Quadruple feature.
Roxanne supposedly holds up. Roxanne. You don't have to put a spirit light. Although I have a blue light.
There's a lot of Steve Martin films in this list.
Yeah. Wait for the jerk to pop up. Lost Boys. Lost Boys holds up. Okay. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, in terms of the saxophone player alone.
Major League.
Major League. Oh, yeah, okay, I can see that one.
The Thing, 1982's The Thing.
Oh, John Carpenter's The Thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, the effects were practical back then, and I think they were done pretty big budget, well done from what I remember.
It's a pretty intense movie if you actually yeah, I can see that.
I haven't seen it recently, but
Broadcast News.
I haven't even heard of that one.
It's a Mel Brooks movie, or sorry, James L. Brooks movie. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
And I've never heard of it before. And the last one, and I don't know about this one, is Back to School.
Rodney Dangerfield?
With Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, I vaguely remember that.
I don't know if I could say that one holds up or not.
It's Rodney Dangerfield.
But
who's the son in that? Someone famous is the son in that one.
Mark Dangerfield?
No.
Of the famous Dangerfield family?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dangerfields?
Oh, yeah, so the premise of that movie, Rodney Dangerfield goes back to school. He's a rich magnate. And he goes back to school so that he can be closer to his son who's going to school at the same time. And that's the premise of the movie, essentially. And then he reads a poem at the end. Because he calls him your teacher. I think that's what it comes down to.
Can you, would you say then, in kind of the same vein, going back to the school and stuff like that, would you say that Billy Madison holds up?
No. Billy Madison barely held up at the time.
No, I put it in the same category as the Jim Carrey films at the time. It was just basically just one big fart joke. Which, it's funny at the time, I guess, but
no, Adam Sandler movies, no offense to anyone who here likes Adam Sandler, but he no good, no good, no.
I like some Adam Sandler movies, but
I did
all of them. But
I liked what was the one? I actually did kind of like Grown Ups.
The only good part about Billy Madison is the end speech, or the end when after he gets the quiz wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the teacher's like, you award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. Everyone here is stupider for having heard you. That speech. That's a good speech.
I don't know, the Penguin, man, the Penguin.
Every once in a while on Facebook or something, what like a news story where somebody's like, the vaccine is just a cover up for Bill Gates for population control. I just quote that speech right back at them, but it doesn't make any difference.
I award you no points.
May God have mercy on your soul.
May God have mercy on your soul.
So in that case, if things from the 80s don't tend to hold up, are me and Tim screwed?
Yes.
And if that's true, what does that say about Rob?
I'm fine.
Because you're not from the 80s, you're from the 70s.
That makes him vintage. We're not vintage yet.
We're not vintage yet. We're classic, he's vintage.
It comes back down to being cool again. You see what I'm saying?
But everything from the 80s right now is cool.
Yeah, is it though?
Everything's getting reborn, remade.
Like,
if you go look at the styles now, you have 80s clothing as your the line of styles right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm sad about that too.
Yeah.
But
look at Tim. Tim's wearing like the standard 80s gray hoodie.
Okay, but I was wearing this, like, this is all you've seen me. This is like usually what only thing I ever wear is like a hoodie and a shirt.
See that hoodie? What you can't see is the tag on the back is branded The Breakfast Club. And that's the same hoodie that was worn by, what's his name in The Breakfast Club? There you go.
I thought the comment you're going to make, Keith, was that if those things don't hold up in the 80s now, what nowadays do you think won't hold up in the future?
That's a good one.
That is a good one. What won't hold up or what will hold up?
Michael Bay films.
Michael Bay films won't hold up in the future? No, definitely not. They don't hold up now.
And here's the thing. I think, and honestly, I think a lot of these, the MCU films, I don't think are going to hold up.
Some of them may not. Some of them will, I think.
Some may, but it's like, so when you have the CGI problem, the technology always gets so much better that it doesn't matter how good the technology is today, it's never going to be as realistic as what they can do 10 years ago, so the expectation will always shift. And the problem is, once you get past the spectacle of a lot of these MCU films, they actually become kind of boring. It just becomes like just shit thrown on the screen for the sake of, we're out of plot, so we're going to spend an hour just fighting aliens, pew pew. But when the CGI is like, then you're kind of stuck. Same thing happened with, I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of like an 80s or a 90s film that happened to. Independence Day, okay, there's one kind of like that, where the CGI got a lot better, but the film did not age well. And then you're stuck just dealing with like the dialogue and the drama of the moment. Then you realize, oh my God, this is just schlock, isn't it? I think
dialogue in Marvel movies will hold up.
It's making you feel good. It's making you feel, the stronger, the weak will become strong, and you will overcome, just like they're overcome.
Yeah, it's like a redemption story.
Yeah.
I think the dialogue will hold up. I think I get your point about some of the storytelling, moments in the movie are kind of the same thing over and over again. I've heard that argument before. I understand it, but like, I don't think that in terms of holding up. I think the dialogue will hold up, but then the acting will hold up. I agree with you that some of the social effects may not hold up, and things here and there may not work out in the long run, but like, I think they'll be okay for the most part. I think there'll be a couple exceptions to that rule. But
yeah, I think a few. I think like the original Iron Man will hold up reasonably well. Captain America, I think, will hold up because of the same thing we're talking about earlier, which is takes place in the past. So I think they kind of have that going for it with the aesthetic as well. And those weren't as heavily reliant on, big CGI things. It's more like the one-on-one bad guy kind of fights. I think I think when you have those sort of Marvel films, those are the ones that are going to hold up well. But when you start getting into the more like the Avengers films, or when you get more into the like Spider-Man Far From Home, I think those are the ones that aren't going to hold up as well as, say, like the earlier Marvel ones.
Spider-Man Far From Home is all animated, though.
Yeah.
No. You're thinking Spider-Man.
No, sorry, I'm thinking Far From Home.
No, Far From Home's not animated.
Into the Spider-Verse is what you're thinking.
Into the Spider-Verse is
sorry. Which I thought was brilliant.
I'm
sorry.
Was
a great film.
In the Spider-Verse will hold up, I think.
Oh yeah, that'll hold up because of the
it's animated.
Yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man movies have always suffered from the Spider-Man movie-esque look anyway. I don't really think any of the Spider-Man movies have really been terribly great.
I think Spider-Man 2, like the Raimi Spider-Man, I think that was pretty great for the most part. But I agree with you're saying, like sometimes, obviously the Andrew Garfield ones are... Oh.
They suffer from a lot of licensing issues, which results in a weird cast of producers and actors, and Spider-Man's been all over the place, right?
They were one of the biggest problems with Spider-Man was, once again, like you're saying, licensing issues. They had to produce, it was a movie every 2 years or 5 years, whatever it was, for Fox to retain the license for Spider-Man. So they would come down to like, okay, we have 2 years left. Okay, get us one guy and one girl. Okay, so there's Spider-Man and Mary Jane. Okay, and then Spider-Man fights something. Okay, go. Like, it got to the point where they were just smushing stuff together so they could put out a movie so they could retain the license so it wouldn't go back to Marvel. Because Marvel originally had to pay Fox a chunk of money to get Spider-Man into whichever Marvel movie of the MCU movies was Civil War. First. Yeah, Civil War. Yeah, that little bit that he was in there, they paid like a chunk of money to Fox. It doesn't matter anymore because it's all fucking owned by Disney, but fine now.
No, Spider-Man's still owned by Sony.
Yeah, there's some sort of weird licensing.
Spider-Man's still owned by Sony.
For some strange,
like some sort of profit sharing thing they've done. Like, but you're right about them having produced the film under because Fantastic Four was the same situation for a long time. Yeah. That's why if you go back in the archives, there's some really, really awful Fantastic Four films that look like they were done for like $50,000
Roger Corman.
Yep.
Yeah,
and those movies, like the older versions of those movies that you're talking about too, suffered from the fact that during that period of time, a lot of the producers could put out crap and people would pay to see it anyway.
Yeah, I mean it's still true nowadays, I guess. Kind of like Michael Bay.
I think a lot of people are more skeptical now, considering they have other outlets to get these movies. True, a lot of movies go to. They go to cloud platforms like Netflix and what have you immediately after they've been in, and sometimes as soon as they have been in theaters.
And I hate to say it, a lot of these films, so let's take all the Transformer films, for example. Not sure if folks picked up on this or not, but, North America is not the target audience for those films anymore. A lot of those films they do extraordinarily well in China because they still like the Michael Bay, big explosion, simplistic kind of stuff there, apparently that sells quite well. So I'm trying to remember what was the last Transformers film that came out that they somehow
Night or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It did okay here, but it made like well over $1 billion in China and the rest of the international market because this is kind of these films do extraordinarily well for the Chinese box office.
You hear that Avatar, they re-released Avatar in China, and it just surpassed Endgame again as the #1 movie of all time.
Really? Now, is that including the re-release of Avatar? Or
that's what I'm saying. They just re-released Avatar in China this year.
That's what I mean. So, but what I'm asking, though, is
yes,
are they all grouped together? The original and this re-release?
Yeah,
I'm sure if they re-released Endgame.
Endgame had edged out Avatar. Mm-hmm. And then now Avatar's back over at Endgame again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if they just re-released Endgame would edge out Avatar.
Well, possibly, but I mean, you got to admit though, that's pretty impressive for a film that's now I think 10 years old.
At least, no, it's more than that. 2008, I think 2007, 2008. Okay.
Speaking of which, so it's coming out December of this year, apparently.
Oh, the new one?
I don't know. That's a movie that I was like, meh.
It's both owned by Disney.
It's Fern Gully, pretty much. So
we don't care,
It was Dances with Wolves.
Yeah. Fern Gully, Dances with Wolves type thing.
Fern Gully was one of those films that I really liked as a kid.
Fern Gully.
Yeah,
we went to the premiere at the Galleria Cinemas for Fern Gully, and everybody got a little little cereal boxes. They get like the 8-pack cereal boxes of Captain Crunch Crunch Berries.
Yeah.
So everybody got one of those as part of this premiere type of thing. And I would have hated to have been the worker who had to clean that theater after that because there would have been crushed berries everywhere.
Because nothing says a movie about ecological disaster
like crunch berries.
like crunch berries.
Yeah. They eat berries in the movie and then